Hello, my beautiful soul family. Welcome to the
Hello.
new year.
Happy New Year.
For real. Welcome, my beautiful soul family. We're welcoming in our trans family, our gender expansive, and our LGBTQ. Welcome once again. We are here in the new year, January 2025.
Oh,
Wow.
that's a mouthful no matter how you put it, right? Just January of 2025. I feel like 2024 was 10 years long sometimes.
I'm telling you. Oh my God. And look at it like, where did the time go? Because at the same time, I'm like, it was long. It was a long 2024.
Mm,
It was really a long one for a lot of stuff impacted, like just
mm.
so I kind of was like looking forward to 2025 to start already, but then now I'm like, okay, this is moving at a pace. I'm just like, whew, chill for a second.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my gosh. But I hope you guys are bringing in this new year with some love and some acceptance and some, like, just thrill to just make it happen this year. Just a
Mm.
thrill. Um, because literally 2025 is the year of change, baby. That's what's gonna happen.
I think change is a great descriptor of what to expect
Yeah.
without putting any judgment on it.
Yes, I hear you on that one, Mark. I hear you. But yeah, as far as updates for us guys, the only thing on my part is that the class for the 4 week chakra and Reiki sound healing class is going to be occurring. I would say around the end of February is going to be launching, so that's where I'm looking at the time market. Yeah.
That's
So,
exciting.
I know. I'm just like, I just I'm a little nervous. I'm like, I know I can speak and stuff on camera, but I'm over here like, oh my gosh, what about a tongue tie? You know what I mean? Because I'm not like the best like puppet speaker when I go to college for that, like or anything like that. But I'm excited to do this because it's so needed. It's going to be so needed in 2025 just to like bring balance to our chakra networks and bring some healing to our inner bodies and connect with our inner being. Like it's so, so needed. So yeah, I'm super excited to get it going. And it's going to be more of a live class. So it's not going to be doing like, recordings and it's going to be like that awkward feeling. I'm literally like right there. If you guys talking like, oh, what's the tea? Let's get it popping. Okay. So yeah, that's gonna be my update for you guys on that. And I'm still working on the merchandise. I was just talking to Mark about that, how I'm like trying to find the right style that I want to bring out, like as far as like transgender, gender expansive, and LGBTQ stuff, especially mostly transgender stuff, because obviously this is me. But that's what I'm working on to basically bring out for February. Yeah.
Awesome.
What about you, Mark? I know you don't have much
So
updates, but
very similar. I started recording for the upcoming class. It's going to be specifically about getting prepared for and how to cope with all this crap that's coming at us. Um, and it's going to be a hybrid course, so it's going to be both some videos, but we're going to have live meetings, and it's going to be about 7 weeks.
okay.
So very excited about it. It's a revamp of a class that I've done in the past.
Mhm.
And the skills are just really helpful. And it's simple, but it's effective. And I'm just
I like
excited to
that.
be doing it again. Um, so I share that feeling about sometimes it's hard to just get things like that going. I always remember shortly after I started teaching, I noticed some students kind of, because I taught night classes as well as some day classes, and my night class students they were always tired, and so I was trying to figure out ways of keeping them entertained because I would occasionally see their eyes just kind of fading away. Okay, I guess I'm just not very excited. And they're like, no, you have this voice that just makes me relaxed and want
Yes.
to go to sleep. And I'm like, okay, that was just code for you're boring. And so I keep trying. That's what I said. They adamantly refuse to agree with
Admit
that, but
it.
um it's always something that I struggle with is how can we keep that entertaining? And so
Yeah.
I do that by keeping things short. So try to keep videos
Hmm.
to less than 10 minutes and break them
I hear
up
you.
so that people can do them at their own pace. Um, so it's tough. It's a fun it I love to teach. Recording things has always been a struggle for me because I get energized by having students with me, or by just working with people,
Yeah.
by having a group to work with. I really feed off that energy and I find I don't talk nearly as much when I've got a group, and that's even better.
I love that part. I hear you on that because when it's live, we just feel the energy. Everybody's just communicating, everybody's just mingling, everybody's just in the group. Because it's like to do like recording, that's like reminds me of like college. That's what professors sit up there like, yes, we're gonna sit here, we're gonna be discussing this and a third of the time, we're gonna go down this road and we're like now. That's how I feel like a professor's yapping away, and you're just like, ah, like you just have your students, like, just dumbing down, like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Like Ferris Bueller's day off with Ben Stein. Bueller. Yeah.
Right.
Uh,
Sorry.
have
Oh,
done it
yeah.
so many times that they just wrote memorization. And I did an experiment one time, and I got this out of a book. I didn't make this up, but um, there was a particular segment of the class I was teaching. It was a massage class, and it was the
Mhm.
last hands-on class. And you have to understand the classes that I taught, because these were concentrated courses, but my
Mhm.
class was 4 hours long. So we took breaks, but we met twice a week, but it was only for like a short period.
Yeah.
And it was cram packed, like full of information and stuff to cover. But I did a little experiment with it just to see how things would be different. Because for the last segment of the class, I said, so for this portion, all of you get an A. You all get an A on this portion of the class. Now, we're going to go through all of this and we're going to go through the tests. We're going to do all the same thing.
Yeah.
But I want you to think about what it's like to not have the pressure to have to perform. And it was really interesting because instead of like people not showing up,
Yeah.
everybody showed up. That they relaxed. They literally sat back and said, because we
Oh.
were doing some what other people would call woo-woo type stuff. It was a lot of energy work. It was a lot of more abstract concepts,
Mhm.
talking about things like Chinese medicine and concepts of balance and things like that. And this was always a portion that people really struggled with. And honestly, the test scores went up.
Wow.
So it's interesting when you kind of let go,
Yes.
um,
Literally.
and you focus on feeding people's creativity rather than this performance-based concept of grades, and that people surprise you.
Mm. I hear you on that one because that's a tough one for most people this year. Like the whole just performing and being on the best. Oh, okay.
So
Sorry,
tell us
y'all, for the
about.
intrusion. My daughter just decided to jump on my lap as I'm talking. How may I help you? I'm in the middle of a podcast. Can you please scoop, scoop? I love you. Okay, I guess never mind. You're just gonna stay here. Anyway,
Yeah. So, what kind of intentions do you have coming into the new year?
what kind of intentions do we have, Zoe? Hmm? Oh, okay.
Well, she was adamant about that. I'm not sure what it
Very much
was, but she
so.
was adamant.
My intention for this year is to just be the best I can be and do the best I can do without judging myself, without sitting here putting myself down, knowing that, oh, I've done the best I can at the moment. I'm doing the best I can. And literally, I'm just going to set the intention and just walking into whatever occurs with just flow, just kind of just going with the flow.
Hmm.
And I know one of my intentions for this year is definitely to continue working on this beautiful website, you, Mark, and building a community so big that people cannot ignore us.
Hmm.
And going further with, just building each and every single day with self-love and reaching out to the world.
Awesome.
How about you, Mark?
Well, intention's a big thing for me. Um, and I started a while back, probably 3 or 4 months back, of setting a daily intention. And intention for me is really important because it's about a guideline for your day. And I tend to used to do like yearly ones, but I really tend to get that narrowed down to daily instead of big ones. And I've been on one for a while of just loving myself,
Yeah.
learning to accept and just love me for who I am. And it's interesting what that tends to produce. And because it can sound really self-centered. And I really was concerned about that. Like I didn't share that with a lot of people.
Yeah.
But what it's brought out in me just so far, and this
Mhm.
plays into the rest of it, I promise. Um,
No, it's okay.
I go down a rabbit hole really easily. So,
I
um, but has it brought out a need for setting new boundaries with people and in a positive way that that allowed me to bring more gratitude into those spaces because it was like, okay, if I'm going to care for myself, then that means I can't go in and be an asshole to this person, right? That's not caring for me. That's not
Mm-mm.
helping me. Pushing
No.
that anger out on to somebody else is not going to be helpful. And it's allowed me to question a lot of stuff. So that's part of mine. And then there was a post I saw. I really should have kept it because I've seen it in multiple places, but it was attributed to somebody as and instead of like being a bigger, different version of myself, is I'm just going to focus being on more
Mhm.
me.
Yep.
And that to me is the bigger intention for the year is just to be more me. Um,
Hashtag to that. Mm.
but I'd like to throw in something that it did come up with this.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go too in depth with it. Um, because it's a concept that I've struggled with for, well, all my life. And it's the
Mhm.
concept of surrender.
Oh.
That word causes all of my parts and my parts inside of me to just like get up and want to fight. We don't surrender.
No, we sure don't.
And um, a friend of mine and colleague convinced me to read a book by books by an author, and it's not that I have anything against the author. It's the type of book that I just kind of tend to rail against because it's a little too self-helpy for my taste. But I found that I love them, and the author is Jen Sincero, and I'm probably mispronouncing it. She wrote a book called You're a Badass, and there's a whole series of them.
I love it.
And I appreciate the books because a lot because of her writing style because it's very easy, very approachable, and she kind of writes the way probably she speaks. I've never heard her speak, but I imagine she speaks this way. Um, and then she just really, in this latest one, I just have been reading it off and on. Um, in between light books like On Tyranny by Timothy Snyder, um, Learning to Fight Authoritarianism. Um, but I wanted to bring this up because I think it's really important as we go into the new year.
Yes.
I want to make sure that she is being given all the appropriate credit because it is from her book. I did not make any of this up. And um, so one of the notes that I took out of it was when it comes to surrender,
Mhm.
she said doubt is resistance, faith is surrender, worry is resistance, joy is surrender,
Mhm.
control is resistance, but allowing is surrender. Ridicule is resistance. Believing is surrender. That control one was like, oh, gut punch. I mean,
What?
seriously. Ugh, really? You mean I have to,
Mm-hmm.
everything is based on control. No matter how much I tell my clients, control is just an illusion. Um, but really, it comes down to this one statement. And what brought it up for me is when you talked about flow. And I loved the way that she described it. It says, energy needs to flow or else it stagnates.
Mm.
Surrender puts you in the flow.
Yes, miss. I'm gonna just pump my fist for you. Mm, 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 mm. Because honestly, I hear her on that one
Mhm.
because it was a hard one for me to learn in 2024. Such a hard one. I'm a person that have been taught to take things by the balls and run with it, just not giving a shit. Take it, take control.
Mhm.
There's no anybody else doing it for you. There's no winging it. There's no none of that. Like we're from Barbados, it's like you gotta have things. So it's just like you said, Mark, learning that for me was a gut punch. You were like, oh wait. So you got me. I gotta sit here and go against my whole schedule, and I rolled out. I just go with the flow.
But I think that it brings it into perspective when you think of energy, like so many other things, needs to flow. It needs to go from one point to another. If we're stuck in controlling and wanting to hold things,
Mm,
so if you think about like the way an electric burner works on a
mm,
stove, what does it do? It allows the flow of electrons into a conductive material that
mhm.
gets stopped and then it heats up. I mean, that's a very simplistic view, but that in essence is what's happening, right? If you dam up a river, it stops running until it overflows or breaks the dam,
Mhm.
right? So just a big thing for me. And as we go into the new year, this is part of the intention is trying to look for that. Where is it that I might be holding things that
Mm.
don't need to be held?
Yep, I agree with you. I feel like
But
that.
yeah,
Go ahead, go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, please.
No, I was just thinking like I feel that it's something that we should all be doing. Like literally, soul family. Like we should be just looking inward and around us. in our external world to see what are we just being stagnant on. Like, what are we holding on to so tight that we don't want to let go of? Because that's probably what's holding you back the most from moving forward in this new year, you know, getting things done, getting the ball rolling, you know, stepping into that new path you want to step into, stepping into that new identity, you know, stepping into that new purpose, stepping into your authenticity. Like,
Mhm.
2025 is the time we gotta step into the authenticity, people. Like, we're not playing no games this year. And if y'all need help, y'all know to contact me. Just hop on our website and you can find my info. That's a little selfish marketing, but you know, just say.
Oh, I'm great with a lot. Well, I'm great with a lot of self-promotion on that.
But
But
literally,
I do think it takes us right into what the monthly theme is
mm-hmm.
in the Rainbow Shift community, which is self-love, is learning how to love ourselves. And that's a part of what, even though it's a slow start for the community, but just being a part of it, just thinking about that as we go into the theme of each month has just been unbelievable for me and how it's helped push me into challenging the same things for myself that I would encourage others to do for them. And so I'm really excited about what that's going to bring.
Yeah, this theme is something that I feel like a lot of people have trouble on.
Mm.
And I don't 100% blame individuals for that. It's because society teaches you really not to like kind of love yourself. It teaches you to kind of just look externally outward and see what's wrong and then judge yourself and then try to make changes to suit the external of what you see. So yeah, it's going to be a shift for a lot of people, but it's a shift that we're here to help you with. It's a
Yeah.
shift that Rainbow Shift is basically working on ourselves. So join the flow,
Yep.
join the movement, and just let's do it together. You don't have to do it alone.
Exactly. Because that's the other part to this is been trying to bring more community together
Mhm.
and in all areas of my life, not just in our online communities, but reconnecting with people. And that's one thing that we've learned through the election and is that community is what makes the difference here.
Yes,
And that's how we're going to get through the changes that we know are on their way.
yes. I hear you on that one, Mark. I hear you. But remember, y'all, set those intentions. Remember to love yourself because this month, this theme is self-love month for us. Remember to make time for you
Mhm.
because if you don't, who else will? You know? And just breathe, breathe, because that life force, that air is what you're going to use to bring forth what you want within this life.
Mhm. Yeah.
Do you have to say anything else, Mark? Is there anything else you want to add in before we go?
No, just my gratitude for everybody that is a part of this and all your help and support, Simone, and just our excitement about getting into the to our new flow going into this year.
Oh, real. I'm excited.
Yeah.
With all that being said, my beautiful family, I just want to send y'all some love, some light, and know that we are here for you. Know that we love you and that we appreciate you guys. And know that if you need us, you can just contact us.
Yeah.
All right. I love you. I will see you again soon.
Happy January. Bye.